Chad, congratulations on your appointment as assistant head coach. Just how pleased are you about that, first of all?
Yeah, delighted. Obviously, I came into the club about 6 months ago as the youth team manager, and I've had exposure to the first team under the previous management staff, and had the opportunity to look after the group whilst a new appointment was being made, and felt and hoped that I'd make an impact in that period of time, and I've obviously had to support the new manager, in the early parts of his tenure to, give him every bit of support possible to make sure he hits the ground running. I think we've already built up a good working relationship. We see football in the same way, and I'm just excited to add a bit to his quality of work and bring some of my opinions and ideas to the table so we can really kick this group on and push for what we all want to achieve.
Yeah, from speaking to James Coppinger, he said one of the things that impressed him the most was how you took it in your stride when you were first asked to take the team on that little interim basis. But was that important for you to just take it on and then show what you could do?
It was, but more important for the players than me. It was certainly, it's a group that I certainly think highly of. We didn't know how long that period was going to last, Paul and I, and it was important that we came in and showed the behaviours that a head coach would show in order to give the team the best chance of being prepared for when a new appointment was made or for when the next game was. So yeah, always important to give a good account of yourselves, but for the players more than myself. For me, I work for Doncaster Rovers. I'm proud to work for the football club, and I just wanted to do what I could in that period to support the first team training group and playing group to give them the best chance of being ready for whatever was next.
Was it key to make it as seamless a transition as possible then from one manager to the next head coach?
Of course, it was important what we put into the sessions in those first couple of days. It was important we didn't really muddy the water with anything that was coming. We had an idea there was an appointment being made. We didn't know who that was or who it was going to be and when it was going to be, but we had to make sure that the players were first and foremost conditioned. They had enough principle-based work in their minds in terms of how we might approach the game to be ready in case it was us who took that game. And look, fortunately, as I've mentioned, Paul, myself and the new manager have really tight similar ideas on how we feel the game should be played. So a lot of the work we started putting into the players happened to fit the early parts of the new manager's principles, so he was able to come in and add to that and build from that point.
The meetings that you will have had with Danny and with Paul as well, how important are those in sort of getting an understanding of how you all see football? And it's evident so far you're all on a very similar page, but also they're able to share your opinions and bounce things off each other.
Yeah, I think they're key. The manager's come in and he's got a clear idea of how he wants to do things, the type of football he wants to play. I'm 100% behind that, as is Paul, and we want to add value to his work, try and extend that work and do everything we possibly can to deliver it to the players so they can deliver it on a Saturday. But those meetings are key. He's been really open and shared his thoughts on how he wants football to be played. We've shared our journeys as people and as coaches with one another over what's only been a really short period, let's be honest, with back-to-back games, so very little time to get those conversations in. But every opportunity we get to talk and discuss the game, in that depth and detail is advantageous to the playing group. And I think if there's anything we've achieved in a short space of time, and the credit has to go to the manager for this, it's that the players are already quite clear on roles and responsibilities and the way we want to play football on a Saturday, and we just need to keep building on that.
How would you describe then your coaching style? What are the players, or what can the players expect from you if they haven't already seen on the grass? Well,
I'm incredibly dedicated, that they'll get my time, my effort and support for as long as they need it, and I see that as extending from just on the pitch. It's off the pitch as well. I'll spend time analysing games and footage with players, I'm a deep thinker when it comes to the game. As I say, already as a coaching staff, we've had a lot of in-depth, detailed discussions around how we see the game being played and how that matches up against our next opponent, the other opponents in the league, the general style of football in this division. So the players will get an incredible amount of my time, effort, my energy, and I get my absolute best every day. And hopefully as a staff we get that in return, and that's what we've seen so far, is a group of players that have bought into the ideas. They're giving everything back in terms of what we're giving to them. But yeah, look, in simple terms, it would be my dedication and every bit of knowledge that I've picked up along the way and I'm continuing to pick up, I want to share with the players. Yeah, I'm a big believer in the style of football we're looking to play. I've come through an environment where that type of football's been demanded, so I've got a good idea of how that looks. I can definitely coach that style of football, as can the other coaches that are in place, and we just want to give the players every opportunity to deliver it.
How important have those experiences been? You had a lot of time at Exeter, you've had the 6 months since you came in here as well. How important has all that been, putting it into the melting pot and preparing you for this role now? Yeah,
huge. Look, I was 12 years at Exeter, in every age group, including some time with the first team, albeit not on a permanent basis, but certainly as support staff. So they're in the current division that we're in now. So I had an eye opening to some game days, I had an eye opening to training sessions. They got promoted from that division, so I've been around a football club who's been promoted from this division and have seen what it takes. And that's not just the stuff on the pitch, that's the day-to-day mentality, the behaviours around the training ground, the behaviours in terms of how we approach games and how we rest, recover and refuel afterwards. But I think, look, the move up here to Doncaster opened my eyes a lot as well. It taught me a lot about myself. I had to come out of my comfort zone and my biases and had to add some of my ideas into what was already a really well-run programme. I had to work with a new set of people and try and get them to buy into some of the things I believed in. And look, I feel I managed to do that successfully. And it's about repeating that process now at the next level. I've been a youth team coach for 7 years now across 2 different clubs, and I certainly feel my knowledge has developed over that time in terms of being a head coach at that level, and I'm ready to share some of those ideas and support the new manager in what's his next step and mine as well.